Hey gang, Bill Dragoo here for ADV Moto Magazine. We just completed day 2 of the test ride in Portugal on the new Triumph Tiger 1200. And I've got to tell you, this bike is a game changer. Yesterday we did the road and there were a lot of good things to note about the motorcycle. It handled well on the road, it was fun to ride, had a lot of power, did all the right things that a motorcycle is supposed to do. But in this off-road environment, this is kind of where I live. There's this competition between the BMW and all these other comers who are trying to knock it off of its post high on the mountain. Well, has the Triumph done it? I'll tell you, today, what I learned in the off-road portion of this ride is that they have done their homework. They've created an incredible motorcycle. Its speed, which is where we spent most of our time today, out in these mountains that you see behind me. And we were following an enduro champion off-road, and he set a pretty good clip, and we were able to really kind of shake these bikes out and see how they felt in some extreme environments. And without going into the details of the ride modes and all of this, I just have to tell you the bike was tractable, it was fast, it was like having your favorite uncle there to help you when you started wandering down a dark alley. And it just happened to be that your favorite uncle was an MMA fighter and could handle himself in the situations that you got yourself into as well. We slipped, we slid, we jumped, we bumped, we tested the suspensions, we tested the power, the traction control, the ABS brakes, and everything performed just unbelievably well on the motorcycle. So what didn't it do well? At low speeds in technical terrain, it's not there yet. It's much better than the older triples were. It's head and shoulders above the older triples, but it's still a triple, and it has some of the stalling tendencies that a triple has. So if you're at very low speed, you tip in the throttle, then it might stall. And yes, you can keep the revs up. Yes, you can modulate the clutch. I get all that, but that's not the issue with it. It's just not quite there on the low speed mapping, the low speed control, and your ability to remain confident that the motorcycle is going to keep running for you. So as far as a bike that's going to help you at low speeds, it's not. A bike that's going to help you at high speeds, it is. So what is your favorite riding style? How fast do you want to go? Where are you going to be riding? Who are you going to be riding with? If you want a bike that's going to give it to you at the low speeds for that technical work, the BMW still got this motorcycle over that. If you want something that's a great over-the-road machine, they're both great over-the-road machines. This is a 148 horsepower motorcycle, 220 millimeters of suspension travel on the Rally Pro, which is what I rode today. The Explorer has the Rally Explorer also has 220 millimeters of suspension, which is a lot of suspension travel. The ability to adjust that suspension in 9 different settings and adjust the damping on the fly is an incredibly good feature for the motorcycle. You can touch a button and firm it up, or you can soften it up as you wish, and it helps to mitigate the bottoming tendency that you might have if you're on too soft of a setting. You can also touch the mapping for your throttle, and you can increase the throttle response from rain modes all the way through road mode, sport mode, enduro up into or off-road, that is, up to an off-road pro mode that gives you a pretty quick response on the throttle. Interesting thing about the mappings is that no matter what mapping mode you choose, it always gives you full power when you open the throttle up to the full throttle position. I like that. I like the ability to have all the power there without having to switch modes if I want it. It just slows down the rate that power comes on as you turn the throttle. That's a good thing. The traction control and the ABS work in the off-road pro mode. The traction control lets you step the rear wheel out as far as you want to, and it lets you skid the rear wheel if you want to by simply applying the rear brake, maybe a little bit more than you should. And again, the bike helps you if you begin to slip around. And the way that it helps in this case, for one, it's a long motorcycle. It's 61, 62 inches. It's roughly 2 inches longer than the BMW. So it's kind of got that semi-tractor trailer feeling that the tractor is tracking on the road and going where you want it to go, but maybe the trailer is slipping around a little bit. Well, let the trailer slip. It's not going to bother you. It's not going to hurt you if you let that happen. It comes back again. The bike is very light and light feeling. It's amazing how much lighter this is than the old Triumph Explorer. It's just a bike that is nimble and it works well for you. You're not fighting it whenever you're out there on the bike. Did I ever bottom the suspension? Yeah, I did a few times, but it doesn't hurt when you do. You feel it stop at the limit of its travel a couple of times, even on the highest, the number 9 setting. But when that would happen, I didn't feel like it was hurting me. It was just warning me. It was giving me that indication. Maybe you need to slow down a little bit on this rough terrain. So, you know, which one is going to win? Which motorcycle is now the king of the mountain? You're not going to like this, but I have to tell you, there are 2 pinnacles. There are 2 peaks on this mountain. And for the high-speed work, the Triumph stands on top. There's no question about it. For the low-speed work, BMW is still king of the mountain. Something in between, you just kind of have to pick your poison on that. They're both fantastic motorcycles, but Triumph has done their homework well. They've created an amazing motorcycle. It looks great. It's robust. It's crash-worthy. It's not a motorcycle that you have to worry about. It's going to fall apart on you because you treat it rough. It's going to stand up for you. So I hope this is helpful. I do have some articles coming out on this motorcycle, so stay tuned for those, and thanks for watching.